All right, so this is a measure of loudness of sound. But it's a very special scale. Anyone need more time? All right, so intensity level. Now the intensity level is the ratio of the intensity of that sound. We were talking about the intensity of sound to something called the threshold of intensity of human hearing. In other words, the threshold of intensity of human hearing is that minimum amount of energy to make your hearing work. In other words, there is a minimum amount of energy needed to stimulate those little hairs in the cochlea to get them to send a signal to your brain. And the threshold of human hearing is 1 times 10 to the minus 12 watts per meter squared. Watts per meter squared. So it is that ratio. But it is a logarithmic scale. A logarithmic scale. Which means every time you go up basically 1 on the scale, you're going up by a power of 10. Because you might recall from logs. The log of 10 to the first is 1. Remember, if you take the log of a number, basically the exponent is what it equals. You know, log of 10 to the 1.5 equals 1.5. Log of 10 to the second power is 2. Log of 10 to the third power would be 3. Remember, that's what it equals. It equals the power of 10. So if I go from 2 to 3, I haven't increased 1. I've increased 10 times. I go from 3 to 4, that's 10 more times. So if I go from 2 to 4, that's 10 times 10, or 100 times. Every time you go up. But sound is a little different because we multiply it by 10. So L is equal to 10 times the log of I over I sub 0. Which means if I start at 10 decibels and went to 20 decibels, that would be an increase of 10 times. If I went from 10 to 20, that'd be another 10 times. But if I went from, because I multiply by 10, if I go 20 to 30, that would be 10 times 10, or 100 times louder. This is how logarithmic scales work. So every time you go up 10 on the scale, you've increased by a power of 10. So if I went from 20 to 40, that means I went up 10, 20, I went up 3 tens, or 10 to the third power, or 1,000 on that. Remember our little discussion.
What am I going to do with that one?
Do you really want to find out? That would be up to his whim, right? All right. So, anybody need more time? So if we look at this little list, notice threshold of hearing, well that's 0, right? Because you're divided by 0, you know, something divided by itself, but 10 to the 0 power. Normal breathing, so that would be like you just, if you were just sitting quietly, like in bed, your breathing would be about 10 decibels. A whisper is 20. A library, that'd be like the public library, not our library. I've been to our library. Believe me, it ain't at 40 decibels. Maybe up here, you know, but, you know, library, 40 decibels. Normal speech, that'd be like you just talking to somebody. Well, that'd be like adults talking to each other. I've seen how some of you guys talk to each other. It's like, you know, you talk like you are inside of a jet engine. Factory noise, subway, old subway trains, loud rock music. Notice how close loud rock music is to threshold of pain. Jet engine. And notice they said the jet engine at 30 meters. In other words, if you're close, because as we get farther away, at 30 meters we're 140, but we move out to 30 meters. Remember, we have 1/4 the intensity. There's that inverse square law. If I had a certain intensity at 30 meters, I move out to 60 meters. I've doubled my distance. I have 1/4 the intensity. If I moved out to 90 meters, I'd have 1/9 the intensity. Yes, ma'am. A what? That means you feel pain in your ears.
Oh, okay.
In other words, it hurts. And it's not just like, oh, that hurts a little bit. I mean, it's like, it hurts. I mean, this is like double over. It feels like somebody's sticking ice picks in your ears pain.
That's loud rock music, really?
Well, actually, I remember there was a band. There was like a heavy metal band that prided themselves in the fact that their music exceeded the threshold of pain. I mean, their goal was they produced enough decibels. But again, that's how close are you to the stage? You know, it's like, that would be a certain, which comes down to that sitting in the back of the Metallica concert way in the back. What? You know, I've been to a few concerts where the music actually sounded a lot better in the back than it would have at the front. I mean, it was pretty loud at the back. I didn't even want to think about what it would have been if you did in the front on that. You know, I think 38 Special, I think they had the speakers that went up to 11. See, someone got the reference. Spinal Tap, the guy says, see, my speaker goes up to 11. Why 11? Because it's 11. It's louder. It goes to 11. You've never seen the movie. It's a great movie. All their drummers died badly. You know, they would blow up. They'd drown. It's a joke. It's a made-up movie. It's a fake rockumentary. But the joke was all their drummers died. Every drummer they had died of something weird. Yeah, because they actually became a real band after the movie. But they're making a joke because a lot of bands seem to lose their drummers. Weird things seem to happen to drummers to a lot of these rock bands. You know, Stones, In Excess, things like that. In Excess, one of their drummers lost his arm in an accident. He still drummed. They lost an arm in an accident. Things like that. All right, we're done today with this. So what I want you guys to do